We are grateful you could join us here on the Joy Newsroom. Now, the West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited, WAPCO, resumes pumping of gas to Tema after a system shutdown. We will come to you with details of this particular story. And I will be joined by my colleague, Brace, to give us details of this particular story where the West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited says it has resumed gas delivery at its regulating and metering station at Tema after a system shutdown. Now, several parts of Accra had their power taken yesterday, with many left to guess what could have been the reason. Joint sources within the energy sector revealed it was due to a shortfall in power generation. WAPCO now says they could not transport gas to the generation plant in the Tema enclave due to a shutdown of their system. Head of the energy desk at Joy News, Samuel Kojo Brace, joins me via Zoom for more. Brace, what does the statement say? Hello, Kojo Brace. Kindly unmute your device so we can hear you.
Great. Now, the WAPCO is saying that it had a shutdown of its systems yesterday at around 10:30. So the facility in Tema, got completely shut down. They are saying that the engineers worked assiduously throughout the night to ensure that they resume gas delivery to their customers in Tema. You know that it's this gas that they're able to transport to the independent power producers, and they can generate power for us to use. So some people, around 11 yesterday, had their power taken out. It was because of this shortfall. And WAPCO is saying that they couldn't transmit gas to their customers because of the shutdown, and that they have been able to resume transporting of gas to their customers around 6:30 a.m. this morning.
All right.
Now, WAPCO continues that they are committed to delivering safe and reliable service, and they are investigating the root cause of the problem to prevent a recurrence. And WAPCO is assuring us that they will ensure that enough gas is transported to their customers so that power will be generated for you and I to use.
All right, Kojo, we also understand the Chamber of Independent Power Producers have an issue with the VRA over the current power outages. What is that?
Now, the independent power producers, and that's the IPGG, the chamber, is attributing what is happening to the excessive exportation of power to neighboring countries. The chamber CEO, Dr. Eliplim Kwabena Kyei, explains that VRA is focusing on exporting power to neighboring countries and not meeting its domestic obligation. Now, he explains that though VRA has been tasked to explore the export market to reduce the burden of idle capacity on government, it must do so within the law. It is a regulatory requirement to ensure that domestic demand is met whilst maintaining the set 18% reverse margin. Now, the chamber is saying that it will be of a great disservice to mother Ghanaians for VRA to be exporting the most affordable hydro generation to neighboring countries, that's Burkina Faso, Togo, and Benin, whilst the Ministry of Energy, PRC, and EC remain unconcerned and force the Ghanaian taxpayers to pay for the expensive thermal generation and also sleep in the dark. So the call is for the VRA to ensure that you are not exporting too much of the affordable thermal one to neighboring countries whilst we pay more. So it is for you to ensure that you maintain a good mix for Ghanaians. So that's like a caution that the chamber is giving to the VRA.
Thank you so much, Kojo Brace, for those details you've provided. Now, away from the power sector, a private legal practitioner, Banson, believes President Akufo-Addo's decision to refrain from accepting the controversial Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill citing concerns over potential contempt charges. Now, Banson emphasized the importance of avoiding any actions that could lead to legal repercussions, as the interlocutory application filed by Richard Sky seeks to prevent the president from receiving the bill. He spoke on his file.
On the 8th of March, Richard Sky went ahead to file for an interlocutory relief, asking that pending the determination of the writ, Parliament should be restrained from presenting, pursuant to Article 106, I think, presenting that bill to the presidency.
I understand Amanda Odoi also filed the fresh interlocutory injunction application on the 8th of March.
Interesting. To use Godwin's words, curious.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But I have not read that,
All right.
so I'll deal with Sky's own. Now, once that interlocutory application, and Parliament has not denied that they've been served with it. They have not denied.
That is so.
Yes. So, to all intents and purposes, Parliament has been served. Now, the Attorney General, that is the principal legal advisor to the government, per Article 88, has also been served. Has also been served with that interlocutory application.
Because he's
not
also a party.
He's also a party. Now, if you are aware that there is a pending interlocutory application to restrain a party from bringing you something, and that party brings it to you, and you receive it in the Alote case, you have opened yourself up to contempt. So you may not have been the person that the interlocutory application was directed to. But if you take a step that will aid that person to undermine the purpose of the interlocutory application, you have also aided. And you would also be liable for the contempt. It was clear in the Alote, ex parte Alote case. Now the presidency, my understanding from that letter, is saying that I am aware. So if I receive it, I've also opened myself up to contempt. If I was the president, I would not receive it and say, take me for contempt. I will not. I'll say, don't bring it. We may have our different opinion as to the manner and the choice of words used in the letter.
That's a different thing.
That's a different discussion. And I think that the communication from the presidency to the parliament, because of the level of authority they all have, could have been done in a better way.
It showed disdain.
It's too strong, because disdain would have to mean there's an intention.
Okay.
I'm not in his mind yet, so I will not know whether that was the intention. But I think the communication, a phone call, a discussion at their level. Remember, the Speaker of Parliament was in Parliament with the President, and they are both senior lawyers at the bar, so they would have had some form of relationship. And I don't think that they don't talk or they've never spoken before.
However, the NDC is challenging the validity of the letter from the President's Secretary, Asante Bediatu, and asserted that it lacks a legal basis. Now, the NDC argues that the writ in the court does not prevent the President from performing his duties. Edu Tamako is Director of Legal Affairs at the NDC. He spoke on his file.
I think the posturing, the tone of the letter written by the Executive Secretary to the President, particularly the portion where it says cease and desist, is beyond it being contemptuous. One can even describe it as completely unlawful. Because you see, Parliament is in its lawful business of just transmitting the law to the President. In fact, you will recognize that under Article 1067 of the Constitution uses the word presented, the transmission mechanism. It is when the bill so passed is transmitted to the President, he takes possession of it, he can then decide that I want to assent or not to. On what authority is Mr. Bediatu Asante purporting to issue that letter? On what authority? On what statutory or constitutional basis is he putting up that letter? You see, it is becoming one too many. A process that I'll describe as sheer misconduct. If you recall, in this studio, you discussed this matter rigorously. The issue of Domelevo having to go. You recall that incident? It is the same Bediatu who, purporting to act on the instructions of the President, asked the man to proceed on leave. For the first time in many years, the Supreme Court had the opportunity of describing the conduct of the President, again, conveyed by the same Asante Bediatu, as unconstitutional. Our courts have found that our President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, obviously acted unconstitutional in purporting to act Domelevo to proceed on leave. Now, is it not curious that where you have a president who is even a lawyer, one would expect a certain level of sobriety level of sober reflection and taking decisions that have ultimate ground impact on how our governance structure. Look at the tone of the letter.
Cease and desist is English.
No, it is a threat. You hardly use that language. Any moment Samson Ladi uses that letter to somebody as instructed by your client, that person carries a certain level of consequence. It means that if you proceed, so it's actually a threatening letter. The tone, the language does not befit the office.
All right, my colleague Kojo Nyaku joins me in studio with details of this rate, which is saying the court. Could you tell us what is he seeking for in the court as we speak?
Well, so he is in the Supreme Court, the Apex Court, and that is the court clothed with the jurisdiction to interpret the Constitution.
Okay.
So he says that upon a true and proper interpretation of the 1992 Constitution, the President cannot prevent Parliament from presenting a bill which has been duly passed by a Parliament. Okay. That's the first one. The second one is that they want the President, that the letter written by the Secretary to the President, Nana Bidi Asante, that it is in breach of certain provisions of the Constitution. That is the second one. Okay. And then the last one is that an order directing the President to withdraw the letter that was sent or written by Nana Sentibidi to Secretary to the President. So that is what they are seeking from the court. Okay.
Now, so apart from this, what is the nature of the relief that they are actually looking for?
So there are prerogative writs, and one of them is the mandamus. Mandamus is a writ to compel a body to do something, and so that is why they are in court for the Supreme Court to compel them to do certain action. So the first one he's seeking is a mandamus directed at the Supreme Court or the Speaker of Parliament to transmit the bill that has been passed by Parliament to the President. Okay. That's the first one. The second one is an order directed at the President to signify assent to the bill. And if the President is not signifying an assent to the bill within 7 days after the presentation of that particular bill, then it means that for that purpose, the Council of States, that is, the bill has been sent to the Council of State. And the last one is an order seeking or directing the President to receive that bill. So the first one, the order is directing the Speaker of Parliament to transmit the bill to the President. Okay. The second one is an order directing the President to receive that bill. And then the last one is that the President, within some stipulated number of periods, the President ought to assent or refer the bill to the Council of State, and the other processes will follow.
I believe that as the days go by, we'll get details of the outcome of
Exactly. So this is a suit, and it will be moved on Monday, and that is the date that has been provided by the Registrar of the Courts.
Thank you so much. That's my colleague Kojo Nyaku giving out details of what we should expect from the Apex Court going forward. We'll keep you posted on that particular story. But moving on, the standard for online education is set to improve at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and its affiliate institutions, as selected faculty members have been equipped with essential skills to utilize the learning management system and blended learning tools for teaching and learning. This ingenuity is by the MasterCard Foundation e-learning initiative in partnership with KNUST e-learning center to provide quality education through e-learning technologies. Over 67 faculty members from various disciplines have been trained in content development for online teaching and learning. There's more in the following report.
The training is the second phase of the faculty capacity building in e-learning with special focus on instructional design and online pedagogy. In the year 2023, about 165 faculty members from KNUST and affiliate institutions were trained at the end of the exercise. Currently, 67 faculty members have been trained. Project lead, Courage Julius Luga, revealed the MasterCard Foundation aims to build robust institutions that post-pandemic teaching can be done even beyond a physical classroom. He believes this will enhance inclusivity in online education. He was speaking at the certification ceremony held for participants.
Online teaching and learning actually offers them a lot of benefits in the sense that if those courses are developed well and the videos and the materials are online, they get the opportunity to engage it in their own time, and therefore, in a sense, actually gives them an added advantage and also allows them to learn at their own pace.
Participants engaged in face-to-face interactions, practical hands-on sessions, and were taught on leveraging various virtual tools for interaction and collaboration. Instructional designers facilitated the training, which was structured into 5 modules. Director of the e-learning center, Professor Eric Apau Asante, is positive equipping faculty with such skills is necessary for fostering more interactive and effective teaching practices in the digital space.
There's one thing knowing the content, another thing delivering it with confidence. And that comes with psychology of teaching. And so we needed also to deal with the emotional competence of our participants in handling diverse students who find themselves online.
Some participants spoke to Joy News.
We mostly lose sight of the fact that we have a wide range of learners with different challenges. But this workshop has taught me that I should know my student demography to enable me use the right tools to instruct my students.
Before coming for the program, I had always been taken aback when it comes to bigger universities or public universities having to move so swiftly when it comes to adaptation in regards to online learning. So I got here, wasn't expecting KNUST to have moved this fast, but I was wrong. I got here and got to realize that these guys have moved so much that they've taken education to a step further away from just the brick and mortar classrooms.
Chairman of the MasterCard Foundation Scholars Program, Professor Kofi Owusu-Darko, wants participants to impact their various institutions with the skills acquired. He advises them to strive for excellence in online education.
E-learning has come to stay, and it's not going anywhere. And for even people who are advanced in age, it will come to a time, and very shortly, I can predict that in the next 5-10 years, if you are not e-learning savvy, you are just going to be irrelevant.
For Joy News, Mona Lisa Frimpon reporting.
Now, still on education, the FREMA Basic School in the Ashanti region, like many rural public schools, is bereft of adequate reading resources and facilities, impacting the literacy in the area. Despite Ghana's progress to improve access to schools, several children cannot read nor write. The situation is dire in remote areas owing to lack of reading facilities at the schools and communities. The country presently has only 150 out of a proposed 500 libraries across each district. There's more in the following report.
A large number of pupils in the country are struggling to meet proficiency cutoff points for English language between grades 4 and 6. Like many public primary schools in remote areas across the country, the Aferi Presby Basic School has for years grappled with inadequate reading materials. Headmaster of the school, Reverend Francis Afumeje, recounts the situation at the school.
The small library, the challenge is we don't have enough books there, and the chairs and the tables there are also not enough for the student to use it. The new library is going to help us a lot because the new library has an ICT lab and it has a modern books that will benefit the student with the new curriculum that we are using now.
Across Ghana, only 150 libraries have been established out of the proposed 500. 20 of the facilities have been constructed in the Ashanti region. The Ghana Library Authority described the situation as woefully inadequate. Ofosu Frimpong is the Ashanti Regional Librarian.
Our mission is to connect every Ghanaian to knowledge resources. And if you look at the number of districts we have in Ashanti region, and as compared to the number of community libraries, is woefully inadequate. So for us, or to us, is an exciting news to us because we are happy. So this library is going to be our 20th library, community library, with real money. So we have been mandated to manage community libraries, but it's unfortunately the government alone cannot set up libraries.
To change the narrative of providing easy access to a variety of books in public schools and communities, the Sanitation and Literacy Ghana has established a well-equipped library for students of Aferi Presby Basic School. Rose Sapon is the founder of the organization.
In this library, we want to start training children in coding, computing. We want the children of Aferi and the greater interior area to be the best among the best. So we want to bring programs here so we can teach the children how to take advantage of this technological age. In the past 10 years or so, we've sent 10 40-foot containers of books to Ghana in rural areas, libraries, and underperforming schools. Yes, so this is our biggest project yet. But for years, we've always raised funds to send books so that children in schools and libraries would have access to books.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright-Kweku.
Now moving on, the Ministry of Works and Housing is urging contractors working on the Sea Defence project in the central region to return to site and complete the project that have been started. Now, the ministry says this is to halt the destruction the sea waves is causing to beachfronts and properties of residents. Sector Minister Kwabena Kyei has been touring the project site with the hydro authorities to learn at first hand the extent of the work being done. There's more in the following report.
The Sea Defence project started a couple of years ago in the central region. Some of the communities have seen their areas fully completed, but for some of the communities, the inability of the contractors to finish their stretch is having an adverse effect on their properties. Minister for Works and Housing, Kwabena Kyei, says some payments have been done, and the contractors have assured him they will return to site to ensure the completion of the project. He want the traditional authorities to help deal with the sand-winning activities at the various beaches since it's inimical to the progress of the work.
What myself and the team from the Ministry and the Hydro Authority have been doing today is to tour these projects to understand the challenges, understand why some of them have not been completed, and for those that are near completion to be able to fast-track the work. And as you've been with me, we've been interacting with the local community, hearing their feedback directly, also urging on the contractors, now that we're making some more payments to them, to be quicker and to complete these projects so that they can serve the people. We're ending here in Komenda, where we are hoping that within the next about 2 months we can finish the work here and then come commission so that the people here can have the full benefit of it. I think the contractors have done very well. I think the Hydro Authority has also done very well. They just need to deepen the engagement with the local community so that some of the local expectations can also be met, even while they are delivering on the big picture. What happens with these projects is that if there is, let's say, pressure on a 5-kilometer stretch, and you're able to do the projects on a 4-kilometer stretch, you end up seeing that pressure that was initially hitting all the 5 kilometers now moving towards the 1 kilometer, and you need to quickly complete that 1 kilometer. And the delays why in some places you will find that challenge. Thankfully, a lot of our contractors are getting back on site. They've given me assurances, places where they are not on site, they've given me assurances that they will be back on site to ensure that those final parts, like we saw in Anomabo and other places, will quickly be tidied up. I've asked the traditional authorities to assist us in dealing with the culprits of the sand-winning illegalities, because that's undermining the project in some places like Cape Coast. And I was happy to hear Osaberema commit that the traditional authority itself will put a task force to our disposal, or at our disposal, to assist us, working in collaboration with the police to ensure that persons who are involved in sand winning and are undermining the coastal protection projects that we're embarking upon will be brought to book. Because, you know, it's limited resources, and if people undermine it, they need to be brought to book. And we are grateful to the traditional authorities for the support they are giving us.
Ogwamahin Osaberema II told the minister they will team up with the ministry to ensure a fast track of the project. Other traditional authorities spoke about the devastation caused by the strong tides because the entire project have not been completed.
Now, let's take you up north, where participants at a town hall meeting held in Wa have expressed worry over the number of developmental projects that are abandoned by successive governments. According to the president of the Savannah Region's Queen Mothers Association, Hajia Dr. Ajara Bukari, colossal amounts of the taxpayers' money is being wasted through projects that are abandoned, a situation which is not helping the speedy development of the country. She therefore called on political parties in the country to include in their manifestos a plan to continue all developmental projects. Joy News' Upper West regional correspondent, Rafiq Salab, sat at the town hall meeting and has come through with the following report.
The objective of the town hall meeting held by the Community Development Alliance, CDA, in partnership with Star Ghana Foundation, is to provide a platform for key stakeholders, especially women, youth, persons with disability, and other marginalized groups in the Upper West and Savannah regions. It is for them to engage political parties on issues affecting them in their respective communities with the aim of contributing to the development of comprehensive manifestos for the 2024 general election. Monitoring, Evaluation and Learning Manager at Star Ghana, Frank Tamako, on behalf of the Executive Director of Star Ghana, Ibrahim Tanko, gives further insight on the town hall meeting.
Star Ghana is an institution that promotes active citizenship. What do I mean by that? Everybody's view matters when it comes to Star Ghana and the things that we do. And one of our greatest principles is to ensure that we have inclusiveness. What it means again is that everybody's view also matters. So if you're a woman and you are here, your view matters. If you're a youth, you are here, your voice matters. Everybody's voice matters. And we are doing this town hall meeting particularly because we want to make sure that whatever we are doing to influence the manifestos, we all have your views as part of what recommendations would push forward in influencing the manifestos of the political parties.
3 consultants tasked to do research on education, health, and social protection had the opportunity of rolling out their research findings.
We have 40% of pupils in basic school that are not having sitting and writing places, desks to sit on. But when it comes to the underserved regions, this part of the country, it is as much as 80% and even above, meaning that about 80% of basic school pupils over here in this area of the country are not having desks to sit on.
Then there is the issue of abandoned health projects, health facilities. Whether it is the current government or the past, there has been a trend, not just in the education sector, but also in health and all of the sectors, that the politicians are more concerned about procurement than completing the projects they've started. So you will see a very nice facility, they've started it, change of government, it ends. And so we are also raising this to you. How will you help us ensure that the governments that take over will complete what we've started?
Influence of our big men, because he is in charge, he knows this person, he can go and bring his friend, he can go and bring these people to be part of it. But then we ask ourselves, are these poor people? Are they poor? How do we deal with that issue? We want all of us here to think about it.
The participants were therefore given the opportunity to make inputs on the findings.
I would advocate that the abandoned projects that government after government used to leave, there is one thing that Ghana needs. It is a development plan for the country, so that there are certain programs or projects that every party must commit to do. You may have your manifesto, but you must do that one too.
And they say free education. We have realized that some of us here, our children have been to school just this academic year to SHS. And what we have gone through is very, very, very serious. And some of them are even there. They couldn't get the prospectus, what you have to buy to send them. Some of us send half. And we are to, this second term that they will be open, you have to send the second half. So what is the government doing? What are politicians doing to persons with disabilities? So that we can also educate our children.
I will need us to all agree that we need to re-evaluate this pre-SHS thing. Those of us in the secondary school can attest to the fact that parents are now heavily burdened, down to buying A4 sheets, markers. That is a reality. Food, if you see their food, you will cry. If you see their food, you will cry. So let's take this as a responsibility. Let's beg the politician. We are not saying we don't want that social policy that education should be free.
but we want it to be re-evaluated. We don't want aggregate 97 to be admitted. When others who score better grades cannot even get the opportunity to sit in the classroom because their parents cannot afford the A4 sheet and then the markers for the school again. So I'll be very happy, like they said, let's look at these things. And then where the power will be given to the teacher again. So when a student is misbehaving, you know which route to carry the student or what punishment to give to the student to bring sanity into our educational system again.
Reporting for Dwe News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Now, the people of Robbe in the eastern region for decades have been neglected by successive governments. But the residents believe their woes have been deepened by the tag they are a community for the deaf. The community say they are now praying to God to survive because they lack critical infrastructure such as road, clinic and portable drinking water. Joy News' Adobia Sari was there and has filed the following report.
Residents of Robbe are lamenting the state of the main road in the town. The road, which serves as a link between Oyibi and Ebri, is in a deplorable state. The ward residents say their decision to vote will be based on whether or not their road network is fixed.
Our major challenge with our town is our main road which connects Oyibi to Ebri. The government have been promising to construct it for years, yet to no avail. John Mahama started, but there's been no progress since he left power. If someone wants to help us, they should first consider constructing our road. This road is a major road which connects two big towns and can serve as a good shortcut for travelers who move from Tema to Koforidua.
Kwame is a driver and a station master here. He laments how the poor road network is affecting him and other drivers in the town.
Robbe GPRTU station master. Na problem I ever ewo ekwan ho asem wa de bebre yen kwan no ya kan kwan ne nye.
I'm the GPRTU station master for this town. We have spoken severally about the poor condition of our road. Certain people who had to be rushed to the hospital for immediate health care lost their lives due to the poor state of the road. The state of the road even affects us drivers, and we spend lots of money fixing problems the road causes our vehicles. We plead with the responsible bodies to help fix our roads.
Every day be a shop. Every day be a shop. You see, so I was talking about Untuin Tadi, DSR, Debia, a high empire, Debia, a high empire, a TTM problem, Casepa, a Hanono, TSR, Omnia who be mine.
Some residents also shared their frustration due to the poor road condition.
Martina Krum have for 10 years.
I've lived in this town for quite some time, and I can say that the major problem we have here is our road. The dust from the road is just too much for us. We are also electors who vote.
The
people of Robbe want the government to give them a fair share of developmental projects by constructing their road.
Now, election headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and Chartered Institute of Management Accountants and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Election headquarters for an informed electorate. Now, political campaigning for the 2024 general elections has been hard hit by the recent frequent intermittent power cut, which has become known as Dumso. John Mahama's building Ghana tour has had to endure the power outages during the tour of the Greater Accra region and Oti regions. Nanaya Ojima shed some light on the impact of the power cut on the tour.
The frequent unannounced power cuts in recent times continue to negatively affect businesses and the daily lives of Ghanaians. Even before the tour of John Mahama suffered the power cuts, the former president made a demand for a load shedding timetable at Zene in the Sisala West constituency.
Today, every day, you sleep and the lights go off. And we know that they are shedding load. They have a problem with generation. Some generation assets are down. They have a problem with paying for gas. They have a problem with paying for fuel. So every day they are shedding between 280 and 480 megawatts of power. But they will not give us a timetable and say you'll be off today, this one will be off tomorrow, because that's what Ghanaians know as Dumso.
At the tour of the Greater Accra region, the NDC flag bearer and his entourage walked into a warm conference hall for a meeting with the regional House of Chiefs. The traditional authorities and others had to fund themselves to contain the heat. On the day, the power outage rendered the ceiling fans useless, forcing the NDC chair, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, to offer an apology.
It is true we didn't create the heat. We have no hand in whether the lights should be on or should be off. But the fact that the gathering is occasioned by us, I think we can participate, we can share in the blame of keeping you under this heat. So we apologize profusely for that.
The NDC flag bearer volunteered to support the House with a generator set.
Between today and tomorrow, we will donate a generator to the House of Chiefs, so that in this era of doom, so if we come and they put off the lights again, at least your generator will be working and will not be feeling as hot as we are feeling currently.
In the Oti region, power production and distribution is managed by the Northern Electricity Distribution Company. For many, the experience with power outage would be different, but the expectations were not met.
I have experienced it myself here. Let me ask, is this Dumso? All those who spoke here are worried about the power cuts, and I have also experienced the same. Since we started this program, they have switched off the lights for about 10 times.
Frequent power cuts at the Nkwanta North constituency was a major concern to all who had the opportunity to speak at an open forum. Mr. Mahama continued to plead with power producers for a solution.
Yesterday, I experienced same at Ketekrachi. Let me plead with NETCO to get Ketekrachi and its environs a substation. When I get to Accra, I will call their head and plead for the problem to be solved.
Na mi drone kraya mi ankasa mefa telephone na ma frɛ omopenyu no na ma ka kyerɛ na de a me behu wɔ ha na ma srɛ no sɛ ɔmo bɛhwɛ na ɔmo nyɛ ma mo ntɛmntɛm ara na sɛ meka.
But if it's not done by the time I return to power, I will order for the problem to be solved.
I know the mempacho mema order say omombe ye na kwasa kanya no engineer.
Solution to frequent power cuts seems far-reaching since the problem transcends through governments. Many continue to ask which of the manifestos for the 2024 election will spell out a clear program to solve the problem. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
Now, on the flip side, the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, Henry Nanabuachi, has disclosed the parliamentary candidate of the party will be allocated targets in the upcoming general elections. Now, he said this is aimed at enticing the PCs and ensuring that they do not defer from canvassing for votes after being allocated the necessary resources, with the mindset that the party is not popular in their constituency and hence cannot win the seat. Nanabuachi was speaking at the inaugural ceremony of the Volta Regional Campaign Team in Ho as the NPP Regional Secretariat in Ho.
Our votes. Our parliamentary candidates, we are very happy to have you. We have had instances where we elect parliamentary candidates, they go to sleep, they don't work, simply because, oh, as for this place, we cannot win. As for this place, oh, we have lost already. Please, let me, on the authority of His Excellency, the next President, and the 2024 leadership of the campaign team, inform you that you are going to be given targets. We will sit with you. We are analyzing every single constituency. You are going to be given targets. So, for instance, if you achieve your target, even if you lose the elections, in our books, you have won the elections. Because you see the vote from Bantama linked to the votes in Yape Kusogo, coming to the votes in German South, moving to the votes in Jomoro, coming down to the vote in Odododio, going to the votes in Cape South, linking up to the vote in Kratch East, Bangor, and the rest. That will make His Excellency the Vice President the next President of the land. So we are not going to countenance, and it has happened before. So for instance, even if you are given target, and at the end of the day, you do not achieve your target, but then you win your constituency, in our books you have lost. You know why? Because we want parliamentary and then we want presidential as well. We want parliamentary and we want presidential as well. So in as much as we are working so hard, please be guided by the targets we are going to give you.
Voters' Voice today is from Carnation Market here in the Greater Accra region, where traders have been sharing with us what will inform their voice.
Because we're a kufado, a member of Buna, our Baumi ever to us. Or a decatano eba, said a bear, you will normally be a honoma, a fat, and the baby and some ansana. Aha, on the I'm an a crona tumpona. Omen the South Decita, and they develop Crona Kama. Into Ura and Nado, a Bunamana or the Conariano. There's about Miaba to us. Now the normal Guacom said a bear, Emma Ghana, you will carry Bria, far amount for some, amount for years cano. The sound one by a BC and Oquai. I'm a Ghana and a bit my conem. I ain't Chibiano. Ghana need to buy in a bit my paper because, say, a basse or manager Jetasia, Uncle Fobiso. And then Nippon confess Canada, Koyana Japadia, and every beatisa. And when you lead the BO visions, it is over about Omianas or Tuasua. I think I Ghana bear come. And to me, they come again there. Obiana menya agye nto oba na maba omia. Oro na oba obetimi den hia wapa egu akwama Ghana bibia be kama kama.
Me wie mo ni ma wie kakada ke kuku eji. Bole ke free HSC eba. Na ya le hu to mo ri ni ka don gbale na me adam me na fla. Na ma aye. So kwa boni wa me wo bi ya le. Ani ka ku fa do na ke tele ani ba nya president lo. Mi bi. Mando ba anyoje ekte. No ba ta se anyoje ekpa. Bo bi le nye mo phone be WhatsApp. Be nye chuji ase ko be shian be o fa letter flache. Be nye komende sa e ka se ni. She be me na ya mo na pe ho. Wo bi ame ya na ma ka si oni. Ke ba ba shian e ba ne ba enyon ko be. Le ku ese le ya. Se na ba na ba enyoje ekpa. Ya shian le a school nyoje ete. Ani kaja ga wo bi ya la kan school e. Wo bi ba nya tuma me bi lo. Aja keke ne ba na kaji mo le te sukun e ba nya president eye mi bi
de NDC for Kenya no eya no kure mahama no obedi bi obetena so no o ma em yehuin na nye ne ya wo ya free so no a o sa aba no e de abutae papa ba biem na o timi de asa ama ye biem ye de ye mpe ni biem ba omia na eba na na ko trans na ba omia so mra no no so me sibia na na be ye no saa nso na ba omia nso beye NDC fo ande ye nu omochi o omo ano pa ye du omochi adabia e be kasa ensi ye nu omochi ye de enum se ba omia na eba e na mama no so ye nto aba enfe ma no ochina omo nim no na ebe to aba ma ne ye de ye nto ma no efise nipa no obetena so da ye nim de obeye wadi abro etinye ne na o sa betena so biem a o sa be ma ya botai papa biem enti ye mama no de ye yinadi ba omia na eba
so kwa bo na ya le me no gba na e aja ke de ke se roju wo bi awose ka ku fu ado we da ke tele e ba nya president eje e wo bi atoma me bi aja ga me sumo na me pa me bi aba kwa ma no bo ga ja ga wo bi fe minister alo me fe MP alo me e government e sa wo lo ani e sa wo na ba fe school de ka wo kuma to ko tari wo e che bo na sikari kaka kwa hii ete ena sigani kaka o ya ko mi 5 kena 5 obinu e ba ya ko mi 10 kena 10 enyi oba ka ba sia lo gwa me sia no che ene wo won ko lo ko no ado eno a sky ode o tu fi ona maba ko fu ado ja lu wa ya jo
yewura do mama odi gabete o ma Ghana iso akoya ka sia no so ama enyina ya hunu se ne dwuma ba ye no ankoye ene etu abati ya no ne ma na do ba ye je yewura ba omia na eba ehwe ba omia adwen ene ne nya sare ne midode ama akufu ado ta na chi ene wode ba ehwe ne ma wode to kwa ma wode ba anya ne maketwa enti o ma Ghana de sabi ba omia je atu aba mana Ghana be ko na nim Ghana be ko na nim ma Ghana ye fe ani si fo ma na ebu achire ne de masa dogi wa mu we mu nyina mu ya ndisi fo o bi se job yewura ba o mi aba wo ba no o ba bibia kama ama ma mo ho acha wo mu we de ba ko through education me want to say tam we nyina we wo ha dai ba o mi ade mo de ba le gu akwa mu efe bibia ba correct e je ma ga na nto ma ba o mi oni size
na ne mami ni woyo mami ejegbe wawa o ni onana no fando ba fo onana de wa wantani na na akufu adwa wala ka fi na ele ba ya e ka ba o mi afa men ya ni mama aba ni wana chakemu wanta chakemu ya Ghana eja ka Ghana e wo ojogba e wa nana akufu ado e ka ba o mi afa amen ya awe amen ya aga nye school freeze school e be na ya wo pure school be ni wo bi ya school e wo pure school ya ka gbe me nye school fees ape wo be ni wo bi ya school e wo pure school fees e wo na ka school free e akan pi wo ani wo pay school fees ani wo pay school fees just school fees free e wo ba pi wo na ne ma mi e wa
Then mama obe
so and I said, I'll come in everybody. Mama, yes, Mama, I Dubai. Mama, why are Dubai? A demo. Mama, why are Dubai? A demo. Circle Dubai. Nana, Bana Baumia. Mama, why is food and Mama, why is Mama, Nana, Oka, Baumia, Gala Fumuntia. Nana, Oka, you better soon. Nana, Oka, Baumia, Babod. Afiwe, Abaya Punko, Afiwe, Mubasha, the Abacoso, Yanaya, Mubasha, Baomia, Lawaya, Kone Mama, Aba, one takemi, Waba takemi, Yasisamu, Waba takemi.
Business, the World Bank says it will expand its investments within the agriculture sector to address challenges of child labor. According to senior agriculture specialist at the World Bank, Dr. Ashwini Sebastian, the bank is poised to support Ghana's economy through investment in key sectors to drive growth. She was speaking at a joint launch of multi-stakeholder and multi-sectorial initiative against child labor in Ghana.
The Action Against Child Labor Africa project is with the aim of accelerating the elimination of child labor in Africa through targeted actions in selected supply chains. The project adopts an innovative system-building approach to tackling child labor to advance towards achieving target 8.7 SDGs for the elimination of child labor. The World Bank says it will explore other solutions to help tackle child labor in Ghana.
We really need to make sure that our projects and our sector programs are designed with a child labor lens. So that's something we're now trying to incorporate into all of our programs. And so in 2022, we launched a pilot initiative to mainstream child labor lens through our portfolio of operations, and our colleagues identified 10 projects. Those are in agriculture, in mining and land restoration, construction, in education and social protection, to be a part of this pilot that we're calling a portfolio-wide approach to child labor risk management.
Chief Technical Advisor for the International Labour Organization, Minoru Ogasawara, said his outfit will continue to collaborate to find the lasting solutions to child labor.
So the second project is ILO Axel Africa project, so being funded by the government of Netherlands, especially looking at cocoa and gold supply chain and issue of child labor. The third project is now being implemented by Japan International Cooperation Agency, also to support the effort of the government of Ghana to implement the strategies for the child labor free zone initiative.
Now, the president of the World Federation of Engineering Organizations, Engineer Mustafa Sheho, is appealing to senior engineering professionals to support the growth of young engineers. According to him, these young engineers should not be overlooked due to their inexperience. He was speaking at the closing banquet and Engineering Excellence Awards of the Ghana Institution of Engineering.
The engineers at the event were entreated to aid in design and construct physical systems that can withstand and recover from various shocks and stresses, including natural disasters and human-made disruptions. Engineer Mustafa Shehu stressed the need for collaboration between young and experienced engineers.
Try to pay them reasonable, because I also have experience of a lot of senior engineers with very good projects. They're handling very good projects and earning good money, but they're not paying the young engineers very well. We should see them as our own children. We should see them as our own children. And all of us were beneficiaries of such mentoring by senior people, you know, at our younger ages. I could remember when I just graduated and I was posted to another state for what we call the National Youth Service Corps. My boss in Enugu is far away from where I came from. I came from Kano, northern part of the country. Enugu is a southeastern part of the country. But this, my boss, was so good to me. Our schedule was to be testing electrical installations on behalf of the Federal Ministry of Power. And the moment the man just tutored me on what to do.
President for the Ghana Institution of Engineering, Engineer Kwabena Kyei, commended the engineers and asked them to be resilient.
Now, there's something that I want to share as we reflect on these accomplishments over the past few days. I want us to look ahead with optimism, because and determination. We've been talking about resiliency. It is not enough to design and construct resilient structures. As engineering practitioners, we also have to be resilient, because in the face of the challenges that we face daily, you also have to be resilient.
The Ghana Institution of Engineering says it will continue providing good engineering practices.
That's all we have in this. You can log on to myjoyonline.com for more stories. My name is Carlos Keloni. Thank you so much for watching.